And it was generally a controversial building. It wasn't built as built. It was generally a farmer had a barn. Thousands and thousands of buttons have sat in that chair, and they all find it comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. Yeah.
Just leave them here and fall asleep.
Lovely. You can really smell the coal
Oh
as
yes.
you come in.
Yes.
So what sort of time are we in here?
In Wartime farm.
Wartime, 1945.
1940s. Well, no, it was 42.
42, right.
19.
Round about 42.
42, yeah. So during the Second World War.
Oh,
Like
Second
this.
World War.
Yeah.
So this is the point where farms like this have been told to increase their food production from
For the
38
war.
to 70%.
Wow.
And they're not growing food to be exported, they're growing food
For the whole
to
market.
help the home.
Yeah.
Because we learned a lot from the First World War.
Yeah.
First World War was the first war of its kind that affected the country.
Yeah.
And the Germans had developed these submarines and they tried to starve Britain into submission.
Yeah.
So they started putting a lot of things into action with increasing food production, so there was rationing then.
Yeah.
When the Second World War was inevitable and the technology was so much more advanced, we knew that the Germans were going to try and do the same thing again, which they did.
Yeah.
So before we even went to war, we got the farmers to increase their food production from 38 to 70%, which meant they had to open up extra fields
Yeah.
to grow more crops.
Yeah.
They were dragging out machinery that hadn't been used for about 20, 30 years, so that had to be refurbished and fixed by the blacksmith. And they also needed extra labour because the young lads were joining the army to go to war. So that's where the women came in. Now, you've got the land girls, which was established during the First World War. When the war finished, it was disbanded, but they started it up again in the Second World War. So you had women from the age of 16 all the way to, I think, about the 30s, maybe the 40s, joining the land army and working on the farms.
And before that, of course, women would only be in the kitchen looking after the kids.
Yeah.
They weren't actually allowed to work on the farms until.
Well,
they were
yeah, I mean, you did get women working on
Yeah.
the farms, but it was mainly sort of in the kitchen,
Yeah.
feeding the animals or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But then they had to do. If it wasn't for the women,
Yeah.
this country would have ground to a standstill.
Right. Yeah.
Because women took on the majority of jobs
Yeah.
all across the country. And I mean, since the end of the Secret Act for the Second World War, because the Secret Act went on for about 40, 50 years, when that sort of came to a close, then we found out a lot of other things that women had been doing.
Yes.
Breaking codes, delivering planes, doing all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And of course, what happened when the war finished? Well, thanks very much, lovely.
Back to
Go
the
back to your kitchen.
Yeah.
They didn't get recognition. So that's already in there, you see. So the next piece, you need to stab a hole right next to the first piece, like that, and then you've got to have your hand underneath, you see, and then you push that end through there like that to catch the end, pull it through slightly, like that, and then you make another hole a little bit further along like that, you see. And then that end goes into there, like that. And you do that all the time. So the second hole is the hole where the first strand goes in, and you keep on doing that, and it makes it nice and tight. And then when you're finished, when it's all covered and it's all tight and it's all finished, you end up with a fluffy mat, like that. That's the top, you see. And you put that by your bed, and you get out of bed in your bare feet, and you stand on there and you go, this is lovely, this is lovely. You see that mat down there? We made that.
Oh, they made that one.
We made that mat, you see.
I'm doing this.
You want to do this?
Okay, should we try that?
Sorry.
Alright there. You made your fish and chip shop again. Which one's that? Kit? Well, I haven't tried the 50s ones.
Nice.
Not as good.
Not as good.
Okay, remember you have to have your hand over it.
And how is John? Are you well?